last so many years as a teacher, we found out that there are certain difficulties with the student to understand the question which are based on programming, and here we are to help you to come out of that fear of writing a program. Now dear students, how to face this worry of writing a program, I will really try to teach you, and I hope you will find a very good shortcut for your revision. Now let us start with a question, a program which is based on JavaScript, which is an event driven program. Generally this question is for 5 marks into the board examination. How to face that question? Let us see. Suppose you are given a question that you are going to take an input of 2 numbers and you are going to swap them. Swapping means what? Exchanging the values of these 2 variables. For example, suppose A is given a value 3 or a user inputs value 3 and B, he has inputted value 5. So value 5 after running your program should be given to A and value 3 should be given to B. That means you are going to exchange the values which it had previously. Now this question has 2 ways to solve. Out of that, the first way we are going to see now, that is, we are going to take third variable and we are going to swap the value. Now let us understand how we can do this with a program. Let's start. If a question is there, write a program in JavaScript which works on click event and swaps the 2 variables. Now this program comes for 5 marks. Dear student, first of all let us clear the concept of what do you mean by event. Event means action. So your program should work on mouse click option, and where this option should work? This option should work with a button and it is going to work with a form. So it is a question which is there in from your syllabus. Now let us try this, how to write a program. Let's go. When you are going to solve this question, you have to understand that there are 2 ways or 2 different things which you have to take in mind. That first of all, to take input, you have to design a form. Once you take the input, the program should work on a click event. So that means there should be a button on a form which on click should call a function which is known as swap. So now how to write a program? Let us see. As you start your program, your first statement is you will go to the notepad, open the notepad, and the first line is with a tag sign you are going to write HTML. Writing the HTML tells the browser that rest of the code is an HTML file and it starts the browser's engine to decode the HTML page. So HTML tag is very important, and every JavaScript program is written as an insertion into an HTML file. The HTML code, here the JavaScript code can be inserted either into the head section or into the body section. It is a choice of the user, it is a choice of a programmer where to include the code. Now here in this example, I'll show you a way how you can include a JavaScript. Now let's see the next line. Here the next line I have written here is head, and in this head I have written swap1 and I have closed the head. That means I am going to write this program into the body section of the HTML page. This, when you write a JavaScript into a body of a page, it is known as inline JavaScript. It is known as inline JavaScript. When the JavaScript is written into the head section, it is known as internal JavaScript. So there are two ways the JavaScript can be written. Either you can write it into the body section or you can write it into the head section. Now here in this program, I am writing it into the body section because I have closed here the head section. Now let's go to the next line. Here I have written the next line as body BG color is equal to yellow. Now what this line will do? It will assign a yellow color to the background of my document, which will be opened into the browser, and my page will have a yellow background. Next line, we are seeing here a code for form. Now when you want to write a code for form, it should always start with form tag, and its attribute name we have to use because in future we are going to extract the value of A into the JavaScript code and we are going to extract the value of B. So to identify from which form the data has come, the form name is very important, and the form name is given with a variable P which I am assigning to an attribute called name. Now let us understand and see next value. I have written here a code which tells enter a value of A, and after that I have written here input type equal to text, name is equal to N1. What does mean? I am going to put a text into a form, enter value of A, and after this text I must get a text box to take an input. To take a text box or to get a text box over there, I need to write a code input type equal to text. This word, this keyword within a tag sign will generate a blank text box. The name for the text box is NO1. The name for the text box is NO1, and thereafter I am closing with NO1. I am closing the tag. Now here I have written BR. BR means what? I am going to leave my text to the next line. I should go and proceed to the next line. If students you forget writing BR, then the next character you will see next to your text box. So if you want the another text box to come down, you should write BR tag over there. After this, I have written here value, enter value of B. Now in this enter value of B, the input type is again text, but the variable name is NO2. Now dear students, try and understand that there are two different boxes, two different inputs, so the variable values must be different here. So first text box will have a value which you will write will go into the variable which is known as NO1, and the second one value which is you are going to put for B will go into a variable called NO2, which is a name given to a text box. Okay, now let's go again. Again I am writing here BR. Why you students? Because I am going to put a button, and the button should appear after this text box at the down. So BR is put. Now here I am putting a code for button. Carefully see the code. The code contains input type equal to button. Dear students, when you write input type equal to button, a button image has been put onto the form, and here I have written an attribute called value is equal to click and swap. Now here you can write whatever text you feel. You can write only swap, you can write click and see the value exchange. You can write anything into the double quotes. Whatever you will write will come on the face of the button, and thereafter my next line is on click. Now dear student, this is a name of an event which is into the JavaScript. A small mistake is there. I should capitalize the click here. Even if I do not write capital, don't worry, the event will definitely going to work with the new browsers, but general syntax is that when I write on click, the capital C should be there into the word, but the event will get automatically fired with the new browsers, and here I am writing something into the double quotes which contains two braces, and the name of this whole thing is swap. Students, this is a function name, and whenever I write a function name, it should be accompanied by two braces. So if I forget the braces, the function is never going to work. So here I'll put my function name into a double quotes alongside with braces, and then I'll close my tax line. Thereafter I am putting here BR again. So I'll come on the next line, my cursor will be on the next line. Now I am closing the form. Here I have designed a basic interface to take the data. Even for 5 marks, if you write this much of the program, you are confident that you are definitely going to write, or at least going to get 2 marks out of it. Probably. Now let us see the program, what we require here. Just to write a program, we'll go to the next slide. The next slide shows that in this continuation of the program, you should write the first line here as script language is equal to JavaScript. Dear student, this line is very important, because whenever you are going to start your JavaScript, it should be always known to the browser, and this line tells the browser that henceforth all the lines are the JavaScript code. So browser automatically starts its JavaScript engine to decode the program which is written inside, and this line is very essential. If you forget this line, your program will never work. So the very important line is script language is equal to JavaScript. Next, I have started my script with a braces. So students, it is like a parenthesis. Once you start the parenthesis, then you should close the parenthesis. So braces are given to put a modularity to a program. Now let's go to the next line. Here I have written a keyword called function swap. Dear students, the function swap is, function is a keyword. It tells my compiler, which is a JavaScript compiler, that swap is a function henceforth. So function, if you forget to write the keyword function, again the marks will be cut into the program. So function is a keyword to identify what function you are going to write. Thereafter again I am putting a braces because function is written inside the JavaScript program. So here my braces starts. The next line is where A, B, C. Dear students, the concept of A, B, C is that I have written a keyword before that, that is a where. Where is known as variant. For every language, the variable declaration is the first step. Now here I am going to take two values. So I have decided that my first value will go into A, the second value will go into the B. But what about C? Why I have taken C? Dear students, try and understand a small logic, that if I have got a cup of tea and a cup of coffee, someone tells that take a challenge and exchange the cup which contains tea should be having a coffee, and the coffee cup will be having a tea. What you will do, students? A big $1 million question. Now here you can do an idea that you will take one cup which is fully blank, put your tea into that cup. Here this C variable will work as that additional cup. I can exchange the value as if I can exchange my tea and coffee. So let us understand this logic once again by how this logic can be implemented. See, what I did is I first poured my tea into the vacated cup. Then I poured my coffee into the cup which contains that tea. So my coffee cup will now have tea. And the third cup which was I took, which was filled now with the tea, can be put back into the coffee cup. So here tea and coffee cups are exchanged. Now the tea will contain coffee and the coffee will contain tea. Now let us understand how it can be happening into a real life, into a program. Okay, now to take input, here we must take a value from the form. Now to take a value from the form, students, here we have to write A is equal to document dot p dot no1 dot value. What does this mean? Now let me understand first. There is a document object model. So I want to invoke the value from the form. So I am keeping this document object. Thereafter I am writing a form name after this dot. The P was the form name for my form. After this P, I am writing again dot and I am saying no1. This is a variable name which is assigned for the text box. And thereafter I have used a property which is known as value. So what will happen is when I am trying to extract the value which is into the variable number 1, which is into the form P, and I am putting it into a entire thing into a document object. So how I can recollect and gather the value is that I am assigning A is equal to document dot p dot no1 dot value. This is how the form which has taken a runtime value of no1 will be taken into the program by my JavaScript. Now next line, again I will write here B is equal to document dot p dot no2 dot value. This means that the value no2 of form P will be taken from document object and will be assigned to B. Fine. Now I must show my examiner the result, what I have collected and what I have got, what user has entered originally. So I am showing the result over here. Now this is a comment statement. I have written this comment statement with the double slashes, reverse slashes. Now I will show this value with a statement document.write. Now dear students, there is a document object model which contains a method, pre-built method, which is a write method, and in this write method I am writing a message within a double quotes that value of A before swap, and with a plus sign I am concatenating the value of A. The bracket is closed now. Again I will write document.write br, so it will leave the line. Now students, the next line what we have to enter is document.write value of B before swap, and after that I have written a plus sign and B. That shows that I am going to show to the examiner that I have taken a value of A and the value of A is displayed before swapping and value of B is displayed before swapping. Your plus sign concatenates two strings, that is a sentence value of B before swap and the value which actually I have taken from the form, which is taken by document.p.no2.value, will be displayed over here. Now next line I am writing here document.write br. That means my cursor is coming down onto the document object, and thereafter I am writing a process now here. This process, now this is a comment over here which makes you understand that the process will start after this, that I have shown the values before. Now the process will do what? It will take a value of A and will store it into a variable C with a statement C is equal to A. Thereafter I have written the next statement A is equal to B. That means value of B will be assigned to A and the B will be stored into a variable A. Thereafter again I have returned and restored back the value of C into the variable A. Here the real exchange takes place. So here I have explained you what is a real process, and now I will write it as a part of a program by writing a statement C is equal to A, next statement is A is equal to B, and the next statement is B is equal to C. Now here the really swapping takes place. Dear students, this you have to remember and understand the coffee and tea logic which I have given you. The C is a container in which the value of A will go first. Thereafter the value of B will go into the container A, and thereafter container C is vacated into B, and that's how the value of A and B are exchanged. Now here the exchanging has taken place into the memory. Let us display the value with a statement document.write value of A after swap with a concatenation sign with a variable. Then I am writing here document.write vr. That means I am going to leave some line and I am going to come on the next line. Again the next line I am writing document.write value of B after swap. That shows that I will be showing the value, a swap value of B here, and again I am closing the braces. Once the braces is closed, the swap function is closed here, and thereafter I am writing again one more braces which will close the braces which I opened with a JavaScript. Now dear students, the closing of braces you have to take care. Once you open a bracket, then the bracket has to be closed. Hereafter I will write and end my script with a slash script option, and the last tag which I need to write here is slash HTML. Dear students, now the entire program is over. Now let us have a view of how my program will look like into the notepad and how it will be really running. So let's go to the program which is there, which is ready for you to see. I have written this code for you. I have explained the code. Now let us see how this code gets executed. Once again, this is my code. Here a little bit, a small change I need to do, and here also I need to do a small change, because dear students, the program should show me the correct output. Fine. Now I am saving the changes what I have done. Once again let us go through the whole program. Here I have written HTML, thereafter head is closed, body BG color is equal to yellow, the form name is given as P, then enter a value of A, and I have written a code to generate a text box with a variable number 1 which is given for A, and again I have written a code here which will enter a value. I'll just minimize just to show you with a preciseness. Now let's have a look what is going on. Here again I am putting a BR, that means my line should be changed to the next line. Thereafter I am writing a code for button, input type equal to button, then value is equal to click and swap, and on click I am calling here swap function. Now dear students, you may be confused that I should write capital or small c. Don't worry, even if you write capital C, the program will work, or even if you write a capital C or small c, the program will work. But the correct option here I will suggest that you should write capital word, because the JavaScript is case sensitive and it expects that when you write an answer into the board answer sheet, the event names should be properly written into the capital small sequence. Fine. Now let us go and close the form. Now in this same form I am continuing the JavaScript, because I have written my JavaScript into the body section. So I started the braces opening, then I started with the function keyword. I have written here a swap function. Thereafter I started opening the braces. Thereafter I have written variable A, B and C. C is a container which is a blank box for me to exchange the values. Thereafter these two statements, if you have not understood, again I would like to explain here that in a DOM there is a document object, and in that document object there is a form object, and here the name of the form is P, and in that there is a variable called no1 whose value is extracted by this entire statement and it is stored into a variable A. Thereafter again I am doing the same thing, that I am taking a document object, a form which is known as P, its variable no2 and its value is stored into the B. Now dear student, this is a value which a user enters at runtime will be getting stored into a and the value which is which is entered by the user will be stored into the B. Now here the displaying of the result before swapping is done. So dear students, I am writing an output statement here that document.write. Document is an object and write is a built-in method of DOM, in which I am writing a string value of a before swap, and I am writing here plus a, and thereafter I am writing document.br. That means I am going to leave a space after that. After that again I am writing here document.write value of b before swap, and again writing here b. Here you can write two different statements also. You can put document.write a separately and document.write b separately. It depends totally upon you how to add the beauty to your program. Now here the process, we have shown the user the values before swapping. Now let us understand and how the swapping takes place. Now dear student, here I have given you a comment statements. This will never come into the program. This will never take a part into the program because the comment statements are given with the two reverse slashes over here. So they will not give anything as a result into your program. But when I write these statements, try and understand. I am putting the value of a into a third variable which is c, which is a blank container for me. So value of a will be put into the c, because if as soon as I write a statement a is equal to b by default, students generally do this mistake. What will happen? The value of a will be getting destroyed into the memory. So I need this container, and this container has to be vacated into the c first. Thereafter I am writing the value of b here, and I am assigning this value to what? Variable a. So now the a was having some value before, it will be replaced by the value of b here. Again I am writing here b is equal to c. That means what? My container which contains value of a, just now in the first statement which I have written, will be again poured back into b. That's how here the value of exchange take place into the memory using the third variable, and thereafter there are the two statements which I am writing, that it will output the value of a after swapping and value of b after swapping with the command document.write, and then my script ends. Now my students, let us save this program with extension .html onto the hard disk where you want to show this program. Now let us run this program. Just go into the folder where you have saved this, double click the program, and the program gets executed. It will take some time. See, the browser has opened. It is processing right now. User can put any values here. Say I am putting 100 and as a, and I am putting 5 over here. And once I click here, see, before swap a was 100 and 5, and after swap now a has become 5 and b has become 100. I hope you have understood this program. Please vote us. What are your opinions? Thank you very much.